Okay, so what we've done is we've just lit up this this stove. This is a nice new stove we've just got from Arada, who makes stoves just next door to us here in Axminster. And this is a Villager Esprit 8, so it's an 8 kilowatt stove. It's a big stove, and at full heat output, 8 kilowatts will heat a very, very big space. And what we've shown is that by using a really nice dry kindling, this happens to be birch wood, which I like for kindling, and this is a nice dry chunky wood. Also added to that, I put some of the bigger pieces of sort of kindling plus, if you like, little bits of furniture offcut, very, very dry, kiln dried wood. And that's been burning now for about 20-30 minutes, 25 minutes I would say. And you can see I've now got a really nice hot stove. I've got a nice hot flue pipe. It's burning at it's around 250 degrees centigrade. That's all hot. I can hardly touch the stove body. I'm feeling the heat now radiating into me. And you know, just for a few little bits of wood, it's given me a lot of heat. You could almost leave that fire alone now, and in the spring, autumn time, that stove would just heat a room very, very nicely. And I've also shown what happens when you open the primary air supply, which is the initial air you need. You can see how it's making all that flame, a nice bright flame, which you get from the birch wood. And you can see how the flame slows down when you shut that. You can also see with your secondary air supply what happens. So if I shut this down, that's shut completely, so there's obviously a little tiny bit of air getting into the stove, but you can see how the flame slows down completely. But the negative side is if you do that, you're going to stop the air wash working and your stove glass is going to blacken up. So I'm going to open that again, but you can play with this control until you get the amount of air and the rate of fire that you get, and it's the air supply that determines how long your wood will last for. But you mustn't shut it down too much or you get smoke and it doesn't burn efficiently. So I'm going to keep this shut now. This is the primary air, the primary air supply. I'm going to keep that well shut now because I've got everything heated up, and because I'm burning wood, I don't want any cold air coming into the bottom, and I want this nice air that comes over the top of the fire that will heat up, preheat, and then feed the fire as well. And on this stove there's also a tertiary air, a third lot of hot, preheated hot air that comes in, which we'll try and show you a bit later, but it's up in the roof of the stove and it's hard to see at the moment. So I'm very happy. I've got my stove nice and hot, it's lit, I'm feeling very, very hot sat here, and I'm going to add something like maybe a blazer's fuel log just to show you what they're capable of. So here we have, in fact it's getting so hot I'm going to put my special safety glove on, also provided with the stove, and see what happens. Before you open the door on the stove, it's worth just certainly opening the secondary air vent, possibly opening the primary air, just to make sure if there's any smoke and fumes just hanging around in there, that's all been blasted up the chimney. So I'm going to open this. You can see a bit of air, a bit of heat coming out. And I'll pop on a blazer's fuel log, and maybe we won't have embers by my wood pile. Might have to cut that part out. So again, blazer's fuel log, very, very dry, very compressed log, gives a huge amount of heat to the fire, and you'll just see in a minute how that slowly starts to catch fire and how it will take over the burning from all the kindling and the other wood that we put on to start with.